Hello, good morning. This is Nas from NB Network Lessons. Hope everyone's doing okay and having a fantastic day and in high spirits. This is Pre-Algebra Lesson 7. Welcome. In my last lesson, I introduced you what a number line is. Today, we're going to go ahead and discuss what are the signs, like for example, greater than sign, less than sign, equal to sign, and then we're going to do some practice. So you guys ready for that? I know I am. But anyways, let's go ahead and dive in. So this was the number line which I introduced you um, in my last section. Number line is a line on which you can draw numbers, negative or positive. Okay. So in this particular case, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, these are the positive numbers and they go up to infinity. And then on the left hand side of 0, we have negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, and so forth. And they go up to negative infinity. Okay. Now let's go ahead and discuss the signs. Okay. This is really important for students who are getting into algebra. Okay. Perhaps most of you are already aware of those signs, but this is, like I said, this course or this lesson is designed for pre-algebra students. So what is greater than sign? Greater than sign is this right here, okay? When you have an arrow pointing towards the right-hand side. Less than is when the arrow is pointing towards the left-hand side. So this is less than sign. And I'm sure that everybody knows what this is. This is equal sign. Okay. Now, let me tell you a trick. Let me tell you a secret. Arrow will always point towards the smaller number. Greater than, less than, always remember that when you have an arrow, it will point towards smaller number. Okay. You have to remember that. Now, for example, I say 3, number 3, right, is greater than 1. Okay. As I told you, arrow is always going to point towards the smaller number. Okay. 7 is greater than 6. Okay. Arrow will always point towards the smaller number. Okay. So now let's go ahead and say, let's say you have 3 is less than 7. Okay. Arrow is always going to point towards a smaller number. 3, in this case, 3 is greater than 1. 7 is greater than 6. 3 is less than 7. 7 is equal to 7, right? Okay. So now let's go ahead and do some practice on this using this number line. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and erase this so I have more room to do the practice session. So let's say question is A, and then we have 2 and 5. Okay. So then I can say 2 is less than 5. Okay. And look at that. Arrow is pointing towards the smaller number. That is always going to be the case. Another one. Let's say we have 7 and 4. Okay. So in this case, 7 is going to be greater than 4. And arrow is always pointing towards a smaller number. C, we have -2 and 5. Okay. Now, in this particular case, you're going to say -2 is smaller than 5, right? -2 is smaller than 5. Then let's say we have another one, D. Say we have -3 and -5. Okay. Now I ask you, is -3 smaller than -5? Or -3 is bigger than -5. I gave you an example. Okay. Let's say you are holding 5 pencils in your hand. Okay, that means you have positive 5 pencils in your hand. -5 means that you owe those 5 pencils to somebody else. They're not yours. You owe it to somebody else. Okay. -3 means you have 3 pencils, you owe somebody 3 pencils, somebody. Okay. So, which case you have more deficit? Obviously, if you owe somebody 5 pencils, you are in more deficit rather than you owe somebody 3 pencils. So then I can safely say that -3 is greater than -5. Hope this makes sense to you. Okay. All right, let's do some more. Um, how about, let's say, E is you have 2 and you have -5. Okay. So I can say safely that 2 is greater than -5. Okay. Don't let the sign deceive you. -5 or negative number means that it's not yours, it's somebody else's. You owe somebody. Okay. Whereas 2 means you have something in your hand, maybe 2 pencils in your hand. But -5 means no, you have nothing in your hand, you owe somebody else. All right. Let's go ahead and do another one. F. We have 2.5 and 3.5. Okay. That means 2.5, 2 plus half, and 3.5 means 3 plus half. So which one is bigger or smaller? 2.5 is smaller than 3.5. So how's that, my friends? Okay. You guys want to do one more? One last? Okay. So how about I do H and say -5.1 and -5.4. Which number is smaller? Is -5.1 bigger or -5.4 bigger? That's a question for you. Please write it down on a piece of paper and then pause the video and I'll tell you. -5.1 is bigger than -5.4. Same philosophy. Okay. You have 5.5. You owe somebody 5.5, and then you owe somebody 5.4. So obviously, when you owe somebody 5.1, you're in less deficit. So that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you follow me. I'm going to come up with these lessons, all these lessons, as time permits. Take care of yourself. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.